So in the last video, we talked about the seventh interval in a scale. If you think of intervals and you think of just scaling up a staircase, you're just, instead of going from 1 to 2 or from 2 to 3 or from 3 to 4, which would be one step at a time, you're actually jumping a few steps at a time. In some cases, some major jumps like we used to do in elementary school or high school, or even now, I'll take some major steps. And that's a good thing. So here, finally, we reach the apex of this musical dialogue about scaling and about intervals, taking this interval trail from do to do, and we're actually going to take it now from do to do. So let's see what that sounds like on the violin. Please sing with me. You know, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Or you can also sing the numbers, whatever's more comfortable for you. Let's do it now. And we can even go backwards. Ready? That feels very complete. If we were to skip all the steps and go from the lowest step to the highest step, sorry, I need to make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, we would go or 1, 8, 1, 8, 1, 8, 1, 8, 1, 8, 1, 8. It sounds like that. You could also say do, 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 do. Or you could try and get some overtones out of it, which sound way out of this world. But I'll sing them for you guys. Are you ready? Do. You heard him on the lower one a little better. Maybe you didn't hear him, but overtones are another story. Anyway, this is do to do. And we're really focusing on this because it's kind of a completion of this entire scale we're crawling up. The scale that I've been playing for you is called a major scale. That means that at certain steps, rather than going a little bit higher, you're actually going to go a little bit lower. And in this case, it is the major scale being the elevated third step, or a step that goes just a little further, or a whole step rather than a half step. Think about maybe taking a whole step versus a half step in your own stride. If you were to take little tiptoes, that would be considered more like a half step. But if you were to take a full stride, that would be considered more of a whole step. So that's kind of how you could look at it maybe a little bit. So if you think of the whole steps at 3, let's say from 2 to 3, you take a whole step. So do, re, mi. That would be a whole step from re to mi. But now let's think about doing it from a half step perspective, or that little tiptoe that we were talking about. Instead of do, re, mi, we're now going to change the word to do, re, mi. Right now, it might not sound like much, but in the context of the entire scale, or walking up the stairway, scaling it, we are going to sing this do, re, mi, which tells us it's actually a minor key when you're doing tiptoes rather than full-length stride steps. So at the third note, we're going to do a tiptoe instead. Let's hear how the difference might sound. I'll play it on violin so you can hear it. Oops. So that would be which? The major or the minor? Did we do a whole step between 2 and 3, or did we do a tiptoe? Well, let's hear a different one and see if we can decide. Ooh, what does that sound like? Does that sound a little bit different? And why does it sound different? I'm going to play them both back to back now so you could maybe hear the difference. We'll start with the first. Did you hear it? One is the major, meaning a whole step between 2 and 3, and the other is a minor, meaning a half step or a little tiptoe from 2 to 3. Do, re, mi, and I did also go up to fa, which is the fourth note, right? Do, re, mi, fa. But then I switched it around and I did something crazy by doing a tiptoe instead, which is this half step. I went from do to me, not mi. So here's how that sounds. I'll go up to fa this time like I did last time. Do, re, mi, fa. And now you're kind of getting into that, oh, this sounds a little mysterious type of thing. But that would be the difference between a major and a minor. I think we were just talking about the octave or the jump from do to do. So let's play it in a major scale, and then I'll play it again in a minor scale. Here we are. One sounds a lot more mysterious. That's major and minor. And there you go.